Yeah, so the chamber pressure had already reached below certain pressure. So we're gonna start moving the stage to the working distance of the working distance.
So when Liang's moving the stage up now, the microscope is pumped. So we had a nice chat for about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. And the pumps are all whirring at a steady state.
Okay, it's almost there. So we're gonna choose like the appropriate operating parameters for this microscope. So we have.
Let's get out of the way.
Yeah, just a check on the object aperture is, it's the one, and yeah. So for this secondary electron imaging, I will be using the 5 kV accelerating voltage, spot size 2.
Okay, take a note of that, people. He's using 5 kV electrons for secondary electron imaging.
So select the secondary electron detector, and yeah, so when you look at pause sign in this quadrant, so this quadrant is being paused, you need to unpause it to get the live image. So but right now we can't see any signals here because we haven't on the beam. So now we're on the beam.
Just heard a click on the microscope.
Yeah, so now
So that was the gun valve, right?
Yeah. So now I move the stage to the samples by just clicking this image.
Oh, very cool.
Here we are.
Oh, and so he's got a scanning secondary electron image. Very noisy at the moment, but he's going to sort that out for us and explain to us what he's doing as he gets a better image.
So first, I'm gonna okay. So when trying to do the alignment, you try to look for the features that you can look at the feature on the samples.
So this is fairly low magnification because we could see the curvature of the stub. Is that correct?
Yep. So this is the carbon tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the carbon tape. And you can see that round circle, the edge of the circle on the side. That's the stub itself, is it?
Yeah, that's right. So doing the coarse focusing, we can start to see.
That's the instrument panel here.
So keep on increasing mag. Yeah, so then we're gonna link the Z height of the sample to the pole piece.
Excellent.
And then try to move it to 5mm working distance. Okay. So, and then this is the mode 1 mode 1 of the SEM. So this is the field free mode, but we change it to mode 2, then we will be using the true lens detector where we can get more signals.
Ah, you're using the through the lens detector.
Yeah.
I just talked about this in the last lecture. Through the lens detector is usually used with a snorkel objective lens. So the secondary electrons spiral up under the influence of the field from the objective lens up along the optic axis, and they get attracted by this roughly 10 kV positive potential to the detector. Through the lens detector, wow. It's very good at discriminating between secondary electrons and backscattered electrons. So this is almost a totally pure secondary electron image from the specimen.
Okay. So try to. Yeah, we can't find any features. So what I'm trying to do is just to find some features on the samples where I can do my focusing on.
Oh, that was a
So
point
just
of
now,
recognition.
I was trying to do the focusing at the carbon tape because carbon tape is we can easily recognize it. It can bring us roughly to the focal point of the roughly bring the focal point. Yeah, that's right.
So this is now a feature on your specimen. Ooh. So what are you doing now is fine focus?
It's still coarse focusing.
Still coarse focus, okay.
Yeah, and
oh wow. So this is the grain structure in your lead perovskite solar cell material, your film.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's lovely.
So now I need to do the lens alignment. Let's go for this one.
Continuously increasing the magnification. And he selected a sub area of the image in order to do focusing and alignment.
Yeah, and then so to do the lens alignment, we first need to check it. Not sure how crossover.
The crossover, yeah.
Yeah.
Crossover of the beam. So
Yeah.
the focal conditions of the beam on the specimen.
Yeah, so now by clicking the lens modulator, you are ups and change to. So
you're going in and out of focus.
yeah, and
I
then
see.
yeah, so I need to adjust for the lens alignment in the X and Y directions. So when you're trying to move in the X direction, you can see the
right.
image.
The bigger the wobble, the worse the alignment, essentially. Okay, you're trying to minimize the wobble.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you're going in and out of focus without movement of the image. So essentially, you're minimizing the interaction, the effect of defocus on the scan coils.
Yeah. Let me just go look for other features. So I was trying to do this again. Oops. So it's still there. Maybe try to bring out the contrast. Disappear. What is it? Maybe just here.
So what Wen Liang's trying to do is find a feature in the image that he can do the alignments more easily on. That feature there has got particularly bright contrast. Is that because there are lots of... Is that where the film has broken away a little bit and you've got really nice edge effects and you've got transmission through different flaky bits?
Yeah, that's right. So
you guys should be able to understand that from the interaction volume and the presence of more electron transparent regions and texture in the specimen. Don't forget the secondary electron escape depth and the relationship of edges with that. So that's wobbling in and out of focus, but that's also changing the position, and so what he's trying to do is get it nice and still so that it goes in and out of focus without movement.
It's almost there, but yeah, just a little bit.
Looking pretty good actually now. Oh, that's spot on almost.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
good.
very good. Yeah.
Okay, so we are done with the lens alignment. Then, so before we take the image, we need to.
Beautiful specimen. Look at the texture of. It's coming out beautifully on the iPhone. Actually, I'm filming with an iPhone,
Okay.
which some film directors actually use to film entire feature-length films. So, yeah, you're not getting shortchanged here.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is check correct for the astigmatism. So let's see if we have any astigmatism going on here.
Okay, so folks, this is something I haven't told you in lectures. When you've got astigmatism, if you go through focus in one direction, the blur goes in a particular direction, and if you go through focus, the blur switches into the other direction. So when Liang's checking that
So
the directionality of the blur is minimized.
yeah, so when you look at here, and when I change the focus to one direction, you can see the smearing in this direction. When I go to another direction of the focusing, you can see the smearing is in the other direction.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so
about 45 degrees to the horizontal. Yep.
Yep. So in order to correct for this one, you need to go to the point where there's no smearing of the features, and you're gonna correct the astigmatism by turning these stimators X and Y direction. So as you're adjusting, you'll be realizing the image is getting clearer. So here's a point where it's the sharpest, but to ensure that you're always at the best point, you always want to go to another extreme, and then you can find. So I corrected for the X estimator. Now I'm correcting for Y.
Yep.
Yeah.
So two different directions of stigmatism. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one extreme. So now I turning the node to another extreme. Then you'll be finding a very sharp features in between. But don't stop there. You keep going until you go to another extreme. Then you'll know where's the best point.
Excellent. Yeah, it's getting nice and sharp there.
Okay. Yeah, so by doing the focusing and the estimator multiple times, then you can get a good image. Let's see. Yeah, should be good enough.
Excellent. So that little bit there that's really bright, that's overhanging nothing. There's nothing under that except there's a gap between that and the rest of the specimen, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of a bit where the film has flaked away.
Yeah, that's right. And
we're getting such excellent contrast. Wow. Yeah. You can see the beautiful grain structure associated with Wen Liang's film here.
Okay, so now our the microscope is well aligned, and we can start to take the images.
Great.
Okay, so I'm gonna move to another area of interest. Okay, excellent.
Woo!
Yeah, so when you're moving from one place to another, always check for the focusing.
Wow, notice the little bright bits at in the grain boundaries. It's like two different phases potentially in there. The big grains, and then there's all these little bits and pieces in the grain boundaries.
Oops.
So as we're talking, you should be picking up clues from this video as to what's interesting about the specimen as well, not just the microscope alignment or the operation, but also things that are interesting about the specimen. It's gone to lower magnification.
Yeah, try to do focusing again.
So when you hear the term mag and magnification, they're the same thing. Mag's just short for magnification. Microscopists use mag all the time.
Okay, so you can try to look at our first image.
Currently we're using 5 keV electrons. You can just see all the information at the bottom there. So I'll just...
So this is the 5 kV.
Yep.
And we are at 100,000 meg. And
Wow.
spot size 2 and working distance is 5.1.
Fantastic.
Yep.
As you saw that yellow line on the screen.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Lovely.
Okay. Still a bit bright. Yeah, so when you are trying to acquire the image, then you can use the longer dwell time on the specimen, and you can choose the dwell time and the image resolution. So I'm now choosing 20 microseconds, and yeah, this is
20 microseconds per pixel, that is?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what Wen Liang was doing before, when he was doing his alignments, was doing a very fast scan rate. That's why it was so noisy, because the dwell time of the beam at each point on the specimen, which produces each pixel, was very, very short. So when he lengthened that dwell time to 20 microseconds per pixel, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Yeah, it gets far more counts, and the noise is greatly suppressed, and you get much greater signal, and that's why he's got this beautiful image, the background, which I think he's saving at the moment. So you just saved that one, did you?
Yep, that's right.
Great. So you guys will get that image. And now it's back to fast scan rate. You can see the line moving from top to bottom very quickly, and that's indicative of a very fast scan rate. It allows you to, when you move things, the lag time between your actions on the microscope and the effect on the image is reduced. So now I've just reduced my voice because the vibrations from me talking could upset the scan potentially.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So when he's taking a really nice image, I should actually shut up because I'm standing right next to the column, so I'm just whispering into the phone now.
Yeah, so just now we were just taking a higher magnification image. Now we just move to lower mag to have an idea like how the film is going to look like in a larger scale. Yeah, so this time I'm using the 30 microseconds per pixel. So
30 microseconds per pixel.
yeah, it's entirely up to you. Which parameter that ups. I should have just paused the acquire.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I should just pause it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us a little bit about this image, Wen Liang, about what you see in your specimen?
Yeah, so from here you for perovskite, the sample that we're working on is perovskite polycrystalline thin film. So essentially, these are the perovskite grains, and each grain is one perovskite grains.
So single crystal.
It's not single crystal.
Okay.
Yeah, each grain we can think of it as a single crystal.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's kind of sitting next to each other, so we call it polycrystalline.
Yep.
And yeah, so so for the perovskite materials is
So each individual grain is essentially one crystal?
yeah, that's right.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then yeah, but with so-called healthy grain, we shouldn't see all these features going on between the grain boundaries. Yeah, so you know we can try to think of like what are the features going on around here just from the SEM image itself. Save as so
he's just going to save that image for you guys. Excellent.
okay, so just grab
Beautiful.
yeah. Okay. We can just maybe we can move to we can just go for another lower mag.
Wow, that's lovely.
Yeah, I'm just doing 20 microseconds. Yeah, so just now we were just changing the magnification. Yeah, to look at our samples.
Now we're at 20,000 times.
Yeah.
And 5 microns is the scale bar. Okay. All of this information will be saved to the images that you look at, people. He's just getting ready to save that.
Yeah. Okay, so we already done the secondary electron imaging mode. So maybe we can just move to the BSE imaging.
Great. So we've just done secondary electron imaging. Can you tell us a little bit about the material in the grain boundaries, all those bright specks?
Okay, so the perovskite materials for this sample is methyl ammonium lead iodide.
Methyl ammonium lead iodide, excellent.
Yeah. So these small features, it can be potentially the degradation of the film. So it happens when we apply too much heat to the samples. So this could potentially be the lead iodide,
right?
Yeah.
With the methyl ammonium stripped off it.
Yeah, that's right.
So okay, so much smaller particle size, and also you can see a lot of terracing in the grains. Is that damage caused by the beam, or is that just the way they grow, or?
These are just still something that I'm looking at, but it's not. It's definitely not the damage.
Right.
It's not definitely due to the damage due to the electron beam.
So that terracing is actually a mechanism for contrast, because whenever you have a step of a different height, you present a surface of a different angle to the scanning electron beam, which gives you a bigger area from which secondary electrons can escape, and therefore brighter contrast. So that's why you can see terracing like that very easily in a secondary electron image.
Let me just bring
And all the grain boundaries also stand out very nicely for the same reasons,
Yeah. So
as
now
do the small particles.